think, Marge. All I need is a title.
It's just about a week into the new year, but we still have some unfinished business with 2017. Welcome to Politics City, and today we take a look back at the big events from last year. In January of 2017, Donald Trump was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. Trump becomes the first non-political office holder or member of the military to hold the office. Meanwhile, millions of people worldwide joined the Women's March in response to the inauguration of Donald Trump as President of the United States. 420 marches were reported in the United States and 168 in other countries, and it became the largest single-day protest in American history and the largest worldwide protest in recent history. In February, North Korea prompts international condemnation by test-firing a ballistic missile across the Sea of Japan. At the end of March, the United Kingdom triggered Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, starting the Brexit negotiations, or talks for the United Kingdom to leave the European Union. Early in April, in response to a suspected chemical weapons attack on a rebel-held town, the U.S. military launches 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles at an airbase in Syria. Later, in the Nangarhar airstrike, the U.S. drops the Moab bomb, the world's largest non-nuclear weapon, at an ISIS base in Afghanistan. During May, computers around the world were hit by a large-scale ransomware cyber attack, which goes on to affect at least 150 countries. Meanwhile, a terrorist bombing attack at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England, kills 22 people and injures over 500. In June, despite widespread criticism, the United States announces its decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Accords in due time. 2 terrorist attacks were simultaneously carried out by 5 terrorists belonging to ISIS against the Iranian Parliament building and the mausoleum of Ayatollah Khomeini, both located in Tehran, Iran, leaving 17 civilians dead and 43 wounded. This was the first ISIS attack in Iran. On June 12th, American student Otto Warmbier returns home in a coma after spending 17 months in a North Korean prison, and he dies a week later. On July 4th, Russia and China urged North Korea to halt its missile and nuclear programs after it successfully tested its first intercontinental ballistic missile. On July 10th, the city of Mosul in northern Iraq was fully liberated from ISIS control by U.S. and Iraqi government forces. In August, the first observation of the collision of 2 neutron stars is hailed as a breakthrough for multi-messenger astronomy when both gravitational and electromagnetic waves from the event are detected. Data from this event provided confirmation evidence for the R-process theory of the origin of heavy elements like gold. The extravaganza of astronomy continued on August 21st after a total solar eclipse, nicknamed the Great American Eclipse, was visible within a band that stretched across the entire contiguous United States of America, passing from the Pacific coast to the Atlantic coast. At the end of August, Hurricane Harvey strikes the United States as a Category 4 hurricane, causing catastrophic damage to the Houston metropolitan area, mostly due to record-breaking floods. At least 90 deaths are recorded and total damage reaches $198.6 billion, making Harvey the most costliest natural disaster in United States history. In early September, North Korea conducts its 6th and most powerful nuclear test. From September 6th to 10th, The Caribbean and the United States are struck by Hurricane Irma, a Category 5 hurricane that is the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin outside of the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. The storm causes at least 134 deaths and at least $63 billion in damage. On September 13th, the International Olympic Committee awards Paris and Los Angeles the rights to host the 2024 and 2028 Summer Games, respectively. Just 2 weeks after Hurricane Irma struck the Caribbean, Hurricane Maria strikes similar areas, making landfall on Dominica as a Category 5 hurricane and Puerto Rico as a Category 4 hurricane. Maria causes at least 94 deaths and damage estimated in excess of $103 billion. On September 25th, Iraqi Kurdistan votes in a referendum to become an independent state, in defiance of the Iraqi government. By October 15th, the crisis has escalated into a short-lived armed conflict over disputed territories, including the oil terminals at Erbil. At the beginning of October, 58 people were killed and 546 injured when Stephen Paddock opens fire at a crowd in Las Vegas, surpassing the 2016 Orlando nightclub shooting as the deadliest mass shooting perpetrated by a lone gunman in U.S. history.
I need to take a video. No, you're good.
On October 17th, Raqqa is declared fully liberated from the Islamic State. On November 15, Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe is placed under house arrest as the military takes control of the country. He resigns 6 days later after 37 years of rule. On December 6, the United States officially recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. On December 15th, Star Wars: The Last Jedi is released. And on December 20th, GOP lawmakers passed their tax reform plan, the first one in more than 30 years.